And having the right people involved is super important too. Your organization, any mature, multinational enterprise organization, is going to have, obviously many touch points, and herding all those cats, always the number one challenge. Anybody that's been through it understands that, right? But you have to have certain people at the table before you implement a solution, whether it's a technology solution, a process solution, even it's a simple procedure. All the stakeholders need to be involved, right? And so I just point out a few here. There's obviously many more, depending on your organization. Compliance is particularly important because guess what? They typically carry a hammer in the organization. So if you create a process and they're not at the table and they don't like it, you're going to get audited. And guess what? You're probably going to be back at that same table trying to figure out how to re-engineer that process because you didn't do it right, or you didn't do it in line with what compliance has set forth as your corporate standards.
Goals. Yeah.
Finance, obvious one. Most businesses need to collect money and pay their vendors. So if you don't have finance involved, then maybe those processes, whether they're integral or they're attached processes, could break. IT obviously is becoming more and more centerpiece here. Now, the interesting thing about technology and data is they used to be just kind of homogenized as one thing, right? They're not one thing, right? So data is extremely valuable resource in most organizations, right? And IT is just kind of the conveyor belt, right? That's moving the data around, if you want to think about it that way. And I think we have to separate the two. And data, especially in the advent of AI, more and more, it's more and more important to have that governance, because if you're going to start relying on AI to generate direction, and AI is essentially becoming a coworker in your organization, they better have the right data. It's like hiring somebody without the right educational background, the right work experience. If your AI is not properly informed, how can you rely on the result, right?
Yeah.
And then, the people that say, hey, look, in the case of SRM, I need a new supplier. Well, let's get those guys at the table because we want to understand how those requests are processed, right? Get them there, understand before you start making decisions.